Hey, everybody. Thanks for joining us for the Church Communications Podcast, whether you're watching live on Facebook or if you're listening on one of your many devices via audio. We are glad you're here. With me, as always, is the one, the only Katie Allred. Katie, how are you doing?
I'm doing great. How are you doing, Daryl?
I'm doing good. I have to ask you, I need a thumbs up, thumbs down on the Taylor Swift song. I need to know.
Oh, gosh.
You are in our office.
I think it's like...
In our office, you are the Taylor Swift expert, so I have to ask you. So I'm getting a thumbs up, thumbs down, or like a.
Yeah, it's kind of both. The thing is, I feel like when the rest of the album comes out, it'll make more sense maybe.
Mm-hmm.
By itself, like it's real catchy, I think, but because it has basically the exact same beat as "I'm Too Sexy for My Shirt."
Yes, it does.
But it's not Taylor's normal, and so that makes me think she's pulling like a strange Miley or something. Like, I'm not a little girl, pay attention to me. And Britney Spears, like I'm tired of taking all this backlash. Like I'm gonna shave my head. And I don't want to say that about Taylor because I love Taylor. That's like, let me be honest about that. Like,
you're honest,
Taylor.
About that.
If you're listening, I love you. I'm concerned about your welfare, and I'm sure like. Obviously you are too. So it seems. So I'm just here to help. I'm praying for you. I've been praying for Taylor's mom for like the last year because she had cancer. Like I'm just really like I'm actually genuinely concerned about it.
Oh my gosh.
So I hope for the best in the future. So
I can't make fun. My wife used to pray for Donnie Wahlberg from the New Kids on the Block. So there you go. That actually A, shows my age, and B, shows you that I cannot make fun of.
I think she has such great influence, and I mean she's such a wonderful person. Like she gives and gives and gives, and I'm sure she still is doing that. Maybe not getting tons of publicity for it as she was maybe in the past, but so I'm just like I don't know. Maybe this is just a big publicity thing. It could be. I mean, it could be Taylor's totally normal and
good for her.
A fun
Check
thing.
that out.
I don't know.
All right. Hey, today's podcast is brought to you by the National Disciple Making Forum, brought to you by discipleship.org. Join 1,000 plus disciple makers in Nashville, Tennessee for this 2-day forum that will equip your disciple maker. Get 20% off for the Pro Church Com. Learn from disciple makers like Jen Putman, Tom Rainer, Trinella Newbell, Robert Coleman, Nate Larkin, Ariana Rimson, Daniel M., Dan Spader, Kenan Vaughn, Todd Wilson, and others. 13 tracks, 15 plus speakers, and 65 plus workshops. 13 organizations who are devoted to equipping you to make disciples who will be offering practical training so that you can grow. Go to discipleship.org and use the promo code CHURCHCOM, that's church with a C-O-M-M, CHURCHCOM, all one, to get your discount, or you can go to the registration link, which will be in our show notes as well. You'll get 20% off if you do that. So folks, check that out. We'll put that in the show notes at the end of the show, on the Facebook stream and on the podcast as well. So there you go. All right, let's dive into the big 5 things we got going on this week, Katie. The big 5 stories.
All right.
Kick us off with the first one.
The first one is Facebook announces the ad ban on pages serving fake news. So you've been able to actually report fake news on Facebook recently, and now Facebook will start penalizing the pages that are serving it up. So
interesting. That's just because I wonder if, so here's the question. So I wonder at some point, first off, we can talk, fake news obviously has a political slant to it when we say that, but we've also known that they've also tried to get rid of stuff like from Upworthy and BuzzFeed, which would be, we would say clickbait, if you will, and I wonder if at some point they start applying this logic to things that are beyond like just quote unquote fake news. Yeah, fake news.
Yeah, it's like the worst, right? When you get to an article and it's like 20 things about One Tree Hill, and then it's like one thing at a time, or like half a thing at a time, and you have to like click through 40 pages.
Oh, I know, exactly.
Just to read the one thing that you're like trying to read. Anyways, that's super annoying. I don't think this applies to that quite yet, but I could see where in the future it will. Like they'll be like, please report this is annoying. This is a terrible page. And plus, Facebook wants to stay on Facebook, so that's why they've reached out to journalists to, like we talked about a couple weeks ago, about hosting their newspaper basically on Facebook.
Right.
So I'm interested to see, fake news also, a lot of stuff is Snopes, like
Yeah.
where people were forwarding that message, like, Jordan is dying, send this message to 20 of your friends. Anyway, I'm wondering if this will, I don't know, help that too. I have no idea, but
well, let me ask you this, because you bring up a good point. You made a statement. You said Facebook likes to keep people inside the ecosystem, inside their app. So when you're posting content for church, how much of the content is keeping people on the platform and how much is taking them away from the platform? JD, is there a percentage for you?
All of it keeps it on there at this point for our church. Now, that wasn't always the case, but now more than likely, I mean, it's 90%, and if I had my way, it'd be 100. So it's like, because there's always going to be those people who are like, can you promote my event for the next 20 years?
Right.
And you have to put that same link 100 times and say it in 1,000 different creative ways. Have you thought about ever attending this thing?
Yeah.
And so, that takes them away from Facebook, unless of course you're making an event on Facebook, then I guess it doesn't have to take them away from it. Or if you have a blog, but now, we can do Facebook, the Facebook news, essentially like Google Amped. I can't remember what they're calling it. Facebook. It's like the thing with the lightning bolt.
Yeah. It's instant pages, isn't it? Or
instant pages. Yeah, which you could technically integrate that into your church's website. It's really easy to do if you're on WordPress. It's not super easy to do on anything else. So, actually, it's not super easy to do on WordPress either, as I found out trying to implement it on our pastor's blog.
Is it not just a plugin?
It's a plugin, but you have to have it. You have to make your website generate another RSS feed for it, and it has to be really clean. So if you have embedded HTML, like we did with Mike had a podcast and we posted that, then that RSS isn't clean because there's an embed of a short code and it's trying to read the short code. So it posts it automatically thinking it's an instant article when really it's not. And so it becomes this huge mess. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I do. Yeah, that makes sense. I get what you're saying.
It has to be super clean, mostly just words. It can't interpret and throw out things that aren't.
I mean, but this goes back to our conversation that we had today when you and I were talking through with a couple of people about our 2018 website rebuild. Is that you're kind of in this kind of weird state where if everybody lives on Facebook, if Facebook is such a driver in terms of actual people, in terms of actual audience, then the website, in other words, how I approached the website today and how I approached the website 5 years ago is drastically different. When we sat down, we were we're going to have articles and we're going to have all this stuff on the website. People are going to peruse it. And I'm they're going to look around. We're going to dedicate a section just to Jesus and it's going to be amazing. And I'm going, and the stats are no, all the stats we're looking at, even to stats today, we were no, they're not doing that. Sorry, not happening.
Yeah, they're going specifically to our website, and I bet your website too. If you look at your Google Analytics, if you haven't, you should.
Yes.
Are going to stuff like New Here, and they're going to sermons, and that's it. Honestly, they don't go to the they barely go to the calendar. They barely look at the events, and that's something that we put so much effort into.
Gosh.
I would say 80% of the effort on our website is into events and calendars, and 20% of our traffic goes there.
If that.
Yeah.
And there's no.
It's probably more 15 to 10.
Yes, and by the way, that one time it spikes 3 times a year, folks. Actually, it spikes 5 times a year: Easter, Christmas, student summer camp, children's summer camp, and VBS. That's it. That's when our spikes are in terms of our calendar
for the event. Yeah, for an actual event. Otherwise, nobody's going there. And really, all those things could be served on a page. Not necessarily having to build out a huge calendar feature on your website. So a lot of times people are really we've got to have a calendar. And then you're no, not really. You could better your server. If you're thinking internally we need a calendar, it'd probably be best served internally on a calendar, like an Outlook calendar than having your website, because it's just kind of frustrating.
Yeah. I'm actually, Katie, I'm gonna jump around here because I think there's another article that I think is a good conversation that leads into this.
Okay, you're right.
That is ComScore's latest report that came out that says half of all digital media time is spent in less than 5 apps on the mobile phone. So ComScore released their 2017 U.S. mobile report, and it says users spend 90% of their time in their top 5 apps, making that 51% of their total digital time spent. So total in digital world, they spend it in 5 apps. If they're on their phone, 90% of the time is spent just on 5 apps. So more than likely, we're talking Facebook, Instagram, maybe your mail, and maybe your calendar. I don't know.
Google.
But like it's like Google, iMessage, Facebook, Facebook Messenger. It's in other words, it's a core set of small apps.
Yeah, that's what it says on the article. It says Apple's iMessage, Google, and Facebook Messenger are the big ones.
That's where they're spending their time. So that begs a couple questions, and this is an email. So that begs the question. Confession time here. We are currently building a mobile app with a company that's been a great company to work with. So let me first say that we're doing this because our pastor he
wants it again.
He came down to our office how many times? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 times, and said he wanted this. So by the time he says it the 5th time, I'm like, okay, we got to build it. However, for those of you who don't have a mobile app, Katie, what is your verdict, your thoughts, wisdom on high?
I would say no. Don't do it.
Yeah.
Build your website responsibly. Put your podcast, put your sermons on a podcast so people can download them from iTunes, because that's where they're going to listen to them anyway.
Exactly.
Or Spotify or whatever. And I wouldn't spend your time on a thing. And that's something we've talked about before. Brady's also talked about it on his podcast. And there's a lot to be said, about wasting church resources on that. The thing is, why we're doing it is, okay, not just what the pastor wants, but geolocation is a really important thing. And then we're trying to do some training and some learning that hopefully might be a more interactive experience than just recreating the website again on the app. So we're trying to think through those things. How can we make it better, and how can we make it a more, substantial? We have a daily reading plan, so moving that over there, that kind of stuff.
We're gonna move over some consumption stuff that's kind of in disparate systems. But as Katie said, our goal is to not replicate the website. How do we build a totally new experience that is probably best served by a mobile app? And we think online learning and training is one aspect to that. So we're going to look at doing that. But I go back to this. For some reason, I don't find this poll or this research alarming or surprising in any way. Like I said before, is if you want a good indicator of what people are, just go into your church and just walk through the pews or seats, and just people got their phones open. Where they at? I go to restaurants with my family, and one of the things I always do is I always see these families all huddled together, and they've all got their phones open, and usually mom or dad's on Facebook, the kids are on Instagram or Snapchat, and they may be messaging and iMessage back and forth if they're on an iPhone. And so I kind of go, like, that's the world they live in. So it really kind of thinks me, and I would hate to be in the church app business right now, because you got to have such a compelling reason. And I don't think the technology there to make it super compelling. Anyway, all right. Well, there you go.
Yep. So our next is Moon Pie wins Twitter with a snarky poll. So you may actually have seen some of these polls on Twitter where it's like, I'm seeking a, and then it's so the poll is it's a man, woman, or brand. So they chose brand, seeking a man, woman, or retweets and attention. So they put retweets and attention. And they have 31,000 retweets and 140,000 likes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So here's the thing. The question that we want to ask in regards to this is we brought this up because, one, it was interesting that of all brands, Moon Pie, which is that a Tennessee brand, by the way, Katie?
Yeah, Moon Pie is a Tennessee brand, and they have not a headquarters, but they have a big office in downtown Nashville. That's right.
So the question we have is memes are funny and they're great and they're cute, but are they the email forward of social media? Like, in other words, you remember back in the day when email was big and people would forward you jokes. You know, you would see this or memes that and has the value add for them, and what's cute about them just kind of started to go down.
Yeah.
In terms of actually building on conversations and actually making it, you know, where does it lessen the user experience of social media?
Yeah, I think sometimes it does. I don't know. I struggle. Sometimes they're really funny. Like I've also used this one that's like, I don't know, makes fun of Christians, which is great. I miss stuff Christians like for that. But at the same time, sometimes it's just like, okay, we get it. You hate Comic Sans.
Right.
And we get a lot of these shared in the group. And sometimes I'm just like, okay, guys, I get it. You hate Papyrus. Can we move forward now?
Yes.
Because I mean, I hate it as much as the next person, but and I super love it when, you know, obviously Fortune 500 companies are using it. But yeah, there's sometimes where I'm just like, maybe the church shouldn't take part in these. But sometimes there's some funny stuff you can also, you know, take part in, I think, and be reasonable. Like Life Church last week did a really funny thing that was like, whether you like Taylor Swift's new song or not, you're welcome at Life Church.
That's fantastic. See, I think that to me, I like that. I like that because I think there's a way of personalizing it in such a way that it's not you just grabbing something out of a GIF and just throwing it up there on the internet. So there you go. Yeah. All right, our next story is the iPhone is set to launch September 12th. So September 12th is when iPhone plans on introducing its next iPhone. That'll be the event, along with maybe a new Apple TV. We bring this up because we're usually not like tech heads where we can like what new phones are coming out. But we bring this up for a couple of reasons. One reason, I'm going to be obviously glued to my computer screen when they announce it. But the other thing is, for a majority of us who do social media on the go, on the fly, don't have, you know, considerable budgets to buy big expensive cameras, that phone is literally your entire like communications department in terms of like your technical, like this thing right here is like, this everything. Is everything. It's like all your social media photos are posted with this, everything. So the fact that they're introducing a new phone for a lot of us, and if you're up for an upgrade, that's fantastic because it means that a lot of your social media could be getting better in terms of quality of photos, videos, etc. You just go down the line.
Yeah.
So I do have a couple of wish list items though. I'd like to mention a couple things I want on this thing. I'm hoping for. One, I want 4K on the front camera. So the fact when I'm shooting video and I'm shooting video like this, like I can see myself and not have to do the whole thing where I'm rigging my iPad as a second monitor, which you can do with film. I use Filmic Pro. You can rig your iPad as a second monitor. So I've been having to do that to record our content for our group. So I want that. A couple things I know I'm not going to get. I want the auxiliary jack back. I know I'm not going to get that. I'm just going to ask for it, but I know I'm not going to get it. And I'm trying to think what else I want. I mean, really, honestly, the camera. I want just improved cameras on the front and the back. Those are the big things I want.
Yeah, the camera on the back of the 7 Plus is amazing. It's just like the front is still struggling. And like that's where the majority of your photos are being taken because almost everybody's selfieing. So it's like, okay, how can we make this better? Like, I don't know, a better experience. So I don't know what they're going to do. I mean, obviously they're kind of like, well, we don't want to put I don't think it would bother me though for it not to be completely flat on the front.
I know. I'd be okay with a little bump on the front.
Yeah, totally. I don't think that would bother me at all. Like, I know they're probably thinking, oh, that would not be comfortable, but like, I hardly ever hold my phone up to my ear and talk these days. And when I do, that wouldn't bother me. So, I don't know. We'll see how that goes. Anything else you want in the iPhone? Any more tricks?
I mean, that's the big thing.
I want a projector one day. I want it to like project whatever I'm watching on YouTube onto the wall. I'm waiting. I'm thinking it should be like the next thing they do. Like, how cool would that be? And now you can project things on the wall. What?
Here's what I do want this. I do want the whole Siri integration to hurry up a whole lot faster. I'd like to be able to I would like to be able to Siri out my like tweets or my Facebook status updates.
That's true. Yeah, Siri with other apps. like Spotify, that kind of stuff, like Siri play Chance the Rapper would be great. So
I was really hoping that my phone would be triggered by that and we'd start playing Chance the Rapper while during our podcast.
That would be the best thing that's ever happened.
That would be amazing. And YouTube would take us down because we broke copyright. All right, next story.
I don't know. Chance might let us know.
He probably would. He probably would encourage
it. So survey consumers impatient, unforgiving about digital experiences. So 60% of consumers feel less loyalty to brands after having a poor app or website experience. And over 80% would also tell their friends about that negative experience.
Wow. 80. So like if you say this, like you could say 60% of church attenders feel less loyal to their church after having a poor
website experience.
I don't think that's true.
I don't think that's true either. Especially our website was terrible before we got
oh my gosh,
2013. It was really bad. So if that was the case, then we would have no members today.
No, but I will tell you this. Here's what I do know. I do know that if people have a bad experience with our church website, they will let us know.
They tell us for sure. Yeah, we got one person especially who loves to let us know that there's something wrong with our website. I'm sure y'all all have that one lady in your church. She's fantastic.
Gosh. We did that. For me, it's essentially that says the study showed that 40% of all digital users abandon pages that are unresponsive after 10 seconds, and 11% don't even wait 5 seconds for a page to load. I think that's wrong. I think it's even shorter than that.
Oh, yeah. No, if a page is not loaded for me within 2 or 4 seconds, I'm kind of like, what's working? What's not working? Why is it not working? I'll start refreshing.
Check my browser, check my internet speed. I do all of those things. So I don't. I think we're going to see this get more and more rapid. That's why when I asked you about the Facebook Instant articles and Google AMP, I think stuff like that becomes more important because I think it's going to affect your Google rating. And even though I know it does now, I think it's going to affect it even more in the future. Google's going to judge you based on how fast their spiders can crawl your site and, get the information they need to get.
Spiders crawling, man.
No, don't. Creep me out.
Oh, no, don't go there, Katie. Okay, so, and then there's like cookies and spiders. That makes no sense. Anyway, All right, so Harvey preparedness. I just wanted to talk a little bit about disaster preparedness. If you're in the disaster and your church is a victim of it, and then also what you can do when you're just a church and you're wanting to help with disaster relief, maybe just a little bit. So we don't really have like a scheduled plan to talk about it. We just wanted to like chat about it.
Yeah, I agree. By the way, previous topic, Adam says it affects traffic rate and bounce rate, so that it also will affect SEO. You are correct. So yeah, that will affect your SEO. And in fact, I think, by the way, going back to the last thing real quick, you go into Google Webmaster Tools, and I believe you can test some of that stuff out. I want to say you can.
Page speed insights.
Yeah, that's right, page insights. Thank you. I couldn't remember what it was. All righty. So let's go back to what you were talking about before. In regards to Harvey, one of the things that I think we've been very blessed with is we have a missions minister who understands global relief and understands relief in a very unique way, in the sense of the fact he's been around
the guy who wrote When Helping Hurts.
Yes. Yeah. So he understands that. And so one of the things that he's done for us that I encourage everybody to do is he already has a pre-directed, actually, honestly, it's a communications plan for how we communicate when national disasters hit. So when example, Harvey hits, and on, I would say, Sunday, maybe he sends out an email saying, if people ask, here's how we respond. And it was like 1, 2, 3.
And it's always the same answers every single time.
Yeah. But he's got it down to like, this is what we do. We're going to do this, this, and this. And then that allows him to kind of judge the severity of the situation. And then he can then appropriately adjust our response accordingly, which was, for him, he was like, okay, we got to move quicker on this. So then it was, all right, we got to build a giving link. We got to do, X, Y, and Z. But
I'm going to actually like kind of read his response, because I think it's fantastic, and I think people should hear it. So our church's response to Hurricane Harvey: in these early days, the best thing we can do is hold off on making any plans or commitments. We don't want to do anything to get in the way of official disaster relief recoveries. efforts. So that's great. Over the next few days and weeks, we will be following up with the lead of NAM, which is the North American Mission Board, part of the Southern Baptist Convention, and other partners. As opportunities and systems are developed to respond effectively, we will weigh our options. Southern Baptists are the third largest disaster relief relief network in our nation, and behind the U.S. government and the Red Cross. If anyone asks about donating funds, please let them know about our missions offering, which is earmarked for Harvey, Texas disaster relief, which we send out an email about. We also wrote an article about. We pushed it out on social media. We already got a lot of donations within just the first day. Yeah. People can give online, and they also did it during Sunday. During worship offering. And so that was like the easiest way. And I know now, now it's been 2 days since we got this email, or 3 days since we got this email, I found out that we are also going on a September 5th, I think, through the 11th. We're actually going there. So we're sending a team from our church to work with the Baptist Relief. Yeah. So that's kind of like our response is to work with, obviously, a larger organization that has like a plan in place, not to get in the way, but to help come alongside. And a lot of times that means just giving money and not sending stuff, because sending stuff is almost always the worst thing you can do. That's especially what we learned from Brian Fickert of When Helping Hurts. If you have not heard of When Helping Hurts or read the book or seen any of those resources, I totally recommend doing it. We'll drop the book in the show notes. Okay. And it's just super helpful about what's the best way we can help these kind of situations. And then, okay, so what do we do if our church is the one in the disaster? I think is the next question. I think having a plan is probably a good idea.
Well, one second, I'm writing this down. Make sure I remember to put us in When Helping Hurts. I want to make sure we get that link. Okay, so I think what we've done is we actually have written up a plan that says if the building went away tomorrow, what do we need to do to have church basic functioning operations up and running within 24 hours? So every department has to go through, and we have to write a plan. So we wrote our plan, and the good news is on the digital side for us, I was like, as long as I got an internet connection, I got a computer, and I got some electricity. I said, we're going to be rock and roll. We're going to be good to go. Yeah. Other areas are not like that. Children's ministry, student ministry, et cetera. They've got a lot more to pull off. But by the fact that we thought through those things, that the moment it strikes, we kind of know, here's our protocol. We've also built in some other protocols for us in terms of our website. We have some alerts built in so that in a moment's notice, Katie or myself can immediately put a giant red bar at the top of the website that tells people what to do. That very clearly says, go do this, don't come to the church, et cetera, et cetera. So by putting those little additives in there, we feel like if tomorrow that something hit the church, we'd be able to really quickly move pretty fast in terms of getting the word out of what the plan is.
And we also have a texting system. We have like an alert system for staff specifically. And I think we also have maybe a list too of the church members. I'm not exactly sure if we do. But, we have an email list, of course, for them. So we email them in that case. When we had an ice storm a couple years ago, nothing this drastic. And when we couldn't get to church though, like our parking lot was a skating rink. And honestly, all of Nashville was skating rink. So we decided to cancel church that Sunday, which has never happened. And probably won't ever happen again. And so we emailed everyone that morning, at 6 o'clock in the morning, and we put it out on the website. So we put it out on social media as much as we possibly could. So, yeah.
I mean, I think the deal is the key thing for us, like any good plan is while you're level-headed and you're clear-headed and you're not in the middle of a disaster, go ahead and plan it out. And so for us, we have a pretty good plan of, our executive pastor knows that if something goes awry, and he wants to get something on the website and wants to set the alert up, he doesn't go through 4 or 5 people. He directly calls me or Katie. If he can't get me, he gets Katie. If he can't get Katie, he gets me. So he's going to hit one of us up, and he hits us up ASAP. And then we're off to the races. We know where to go. We control all the campus websites. We'll hit them all up. And so we've had enough of these to kind of go, okay, we know
Yeah.
what that plan is.
And I'm
So,
sure there's a lot of other systems and processes
Yep.
that we're not talking about. Of course, this is a communications-based podcast, so we're talking about communicating. But there's definitely a lot more. So if you have questions about that, I'm sure, if you want to reach out to our executive pastor, I'm sure he would love that.
and one of the things we do before we end this topic is we also have a single point of contact for the news. So our communications minister is a single point of contact. If the newspaper, TV stations call, he's a single point of contact to deal with. So if somebody calls me, call Katie, we immediately direct them to Steve. And so that makes everything very clear for staff on how to handle stuff.
Yep.
There you go. All right, Katie, you got any shout outs?
Good question. Good question. Do we have any shout outs? No. I don't think so. Do you have any shout outs?
I don't have any shout outs this week.
Oh, you know what? We're about to reach 11,000 people.
We are. Yeah, we are about I think we're 1 second. Let me check.
We just reached 10,000 a month ago, you guys. So I'm going to need you to slow down.
Yeah, just pump the brakes, people. Let's see here. We are at 11. Where's this?
Oh my gosh, are we already at 11?
No, we're at 10,993. So we need 7 more people to join. Let's see here. Oh, no, take it back. I just put 2 more people in the group. So that should put us at 5 more people left. So we're probably going to hit that sometime tonight. And then bingo, Katie, we'll be at 11,000 probably by tomorrow morning pretty easily.
Wow.
11,000.
Yeah. I didn't expect that ever.
Thanks, Kim.
Thanks, Kim.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Thanks for the comment. Yeah. So anyway, 11,000. We are super, super pumped. And again, as Katie and I, at least I like to say, I think Katie would agree with this. Again, this is a hallway conversation that, was a hallway conversation. It was a
hey, don't you think it'd be cool if we did this? And then Daryl was
no, nobody's going to come to this thing. Why would you do it?
I'm going to do it anyway. We'll just see what happens.
All right. All right, we'll see if we got a couple of friends show up. I mean, literally, that was what I said. So if you're looking for an eternal optimistic person about your ideas in life, don't come to me because obviously I have no idea what I'm doing in regards to this.
Sometimes you should trust your gut and not trust your boss. I'm just kidding.
Oh, please put that on a t-shirt.
Oh gosh, just kidding. Yes. No, you should always trust your boss.
There we are.
So anyways, we're just really grateful, very humbled by the experience because it's just not something we ever expected. We just wanted to help people and we thought this would be fun and we got ourselves in and over our heads, but we're enjoying it. So.
Yeah. Last thing before we chat is by the way, we will both of us. Katie is speaking at that church conference. I'm going to pump her up, even though she's not going to do it herself. I'm going to do it for her. She's going to be at that church conference, speaking a keynote breakout. So you'll want to check that out. It's going to be amazing. And we're bringing our entire comms team to the event. So Katie and I would love to meet you all. So if you're at the event and we've never met face to face, we would just love just to hang out and grab coffee and just talk and just kind of get to know all of you, 11,000 people, because you all are amazing. So I think I speak for both of us when I say we can't wait to hang out with you guys.
Yeah, I'll be like a deer in the headlights the entire time, but it'll be fantastic. So just be like, okay, Katie, just move this way.
We'll be good to go. All right. Thanks, guys, for joining us, and we will see you all next week.
Good to see you.